Hi, everybody. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the World Economic Forum, which have just closed in the city of Davos in Switzerland. And also, I spin off some idea from that event. Now, what is special again this year, they have, guess who was the one who gave the opening speech? It was Xi Jinping, invited by the founder and president of World Economic Forum, Mr. Klaus Schwab, a German guy. Yeah? Well, I mean, in Xi Jinping's opening speech, he used all possible nice words, cooperation, international cooperation, and multilateral agreement, and a better global governance, and they should think about also the developing country, and the poor China is still a developing country, and so on and so on. And at the end, he was basically telling people, he is now, so to say, the winner in this global competition. China is the winner. China is moving forward, and although COVID-19, Chinese economy has now grown again. Yeah? More or less like, look at China. China is a good example for how to fight epidemic and how to build economy. And of course, without mentioning Donald Trump, he is basically telling people, forget about Donald Trump, that is gone, that era. Now I'm the new boss of the world. For me, very interesting is not his speech, because his speech is always the same nice things, all these nice words, telling people exactly opposite as what CCP has been doing, talking about openness. There's no other country who is so close as China under CCP. All right? Talk about, fairness and cooperation. I mean, my God, they are the biggest human rights abuser in the world. And they talk about, fairness and equality and all this stuff. Please, don't just listen to what they say, see what they do and what they have done and what they are going to do. Now, what was really interesting is after his speech, the founder of World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, he said something, wow, thank you so much for Mr. President, really fantastic what you talk about the world needs to be more open, we live all in the same earth, and, we are all in the same community, and we really need a better global governance, and he was basically impressed that China has done such a great job in fighting the COVID-19 virus or epidemic, and so on. That actually, in a way, it's bad really to hear that. But for me, it was no shocking, no surprise. And you know why? Because Davos has been going on for decades. Yeah. Now, about 12 years ago, I got the opportunity, during a business dinner with some high-ranking people, and it happened that someone sitting, so to say, close to me at the table is a high-ranking manager. I think he is executive vice president of a global company, global player, one of the company in the Fortune 500 list, making, I don't know, maybe at that time, $60 billion revenue, with 150,000 employees, like that. So he just returned from the same Davos, World Economic Forum, the day before he was there. And then next day he talked to me. And the way he told, not only me, but all the people around, in the table, maybe 20 people, he was basically was so impressed by the communists from China. It's interesting. And at that time, it was not Xi Jinping, it was 12 years ago. I think at that time, China sent Wen Jiabao, their prime minister, to Davos. And he was telling me and the other people, you know what? Wen Jiabao was there, Angela Merkel was there, Obama was there. I listened to all of them. But the only person I trust from all these head of state is Wen Jiabao, the Chinese. He said, I'm not saying that Angela Merkel and Obama were lying. No. But, they also promised a lot of things they want to do. But when they come home to Germany, to US, there would be a lot of discussion in the Congress, in the Parliament, and voting for this and voting for that, and time just go. And at the end, maybe no decision, and no action. But with China, it's not like that. When Wen Jiabao, at that time the Chinese premier, when he promised something, he go home and just get it executed, put it into action. No discussion, no argument, no debate. Straight. Wow. I was really, shocked. Because basically what he was saying, and I tell you, he is not unique. There are quite a few such people among the top executives of the world global players in economy. His opinion was pretty representative. And then I say, don't you have any worry about the future development and doing business with China in cooperation and all this? He said, what? Do you have any worry? Well, I say, I worry about the human rights record. Then he said, my friend, human rights abuses is everywhere in the world, not only in China. Look at India. I know very well India. They also have human rights abuses. I said, there's a big difference. In China, many human rights abuses, the persecution, even in such terrible things like organ harvesting, is run by the state. And in India, not by the state. You know what he said? He said, who cares? For the one who suffered, who cares whether it's from the state or from somewhere else? I still have to suffer. I mean, I found it there's no point to continue, actually, the discussion. And so I tell you this because we have been doing such a mistake for many, many decades in the West. Maybe like this guy, maybe he was naive. I don't think so. I think in this case he was only actually interested to make more profit, and he see China being a big market. So I don't care. Why should I care about human rights and all this? Of course, he doesn't say it openly. Because that will only make my business, jeopardized. So this is serious. And he is not alone. There are many, many important global players in our world from the democratic country think like he and act like he. Now, one of the things that Xi Jinping mentioned very much and impressed quite a lot of the participants, and that was, he was saying that China has been extremely successful in fighting COVID-19. And according to the official propaganda from China, well, the Chinese economy went down, they admit, when the outbreak of the epidemic started in Wuhan. The economy went down, but then they claimed that it went up again, in 2020. So I think in the third and fourth quarter, they even have growth, 6% growth. It first went down to minus 6%, and then a few months later, it was growing. But how do we know this is true? I don't know. I only say that probably not true. And you know why? I give you an example why I can't trust them. Well, first of all, as I mentioned many times, statistics in China is not a kind of instrument for scientific research, but it's pure instrument for politics, for party politics, okay? Now, do you remember I mentioned in some earlier episode that the number of mobile phone users decreased drastically after the outbreak of the epidemic? I mentioned that in April last year, 2020, right? And the Chinese officials deny that and say, oh, this is only a normal fluctuation in economy. Yeah, because of COVID-19, the economy went down, but it will go up, and then, number of mobile users will increase again. But the thing is, a very recent public report from the three biggest telecoms company in China, like China Telecom, China Unicom, and so on, yeah? The three biggest, they cover basically the whole Chinese market. So one of them reported increase of number of users, two of them reported decrease. So the total sum of the year 2020 was a decrease of 5.6 million mobile phone users. Now, interesting is how come all this year, since the Chinese started to use mobile phone, every year the number of mobile phone has been increasing. Yeah, how come the 2020 it went down with 5.6 million? How come? And the Chinese population in the last few years have been increasing in the average of 3% every year. And 3% is a lot of people. Yeah, it's something like 40 million. So the population has increased by 40 million. Okay, the children, maybe they don't use, yeah, but say 30 potential users, 30 million. But then the number of users decreased with 5.6 million. That is interesting. And according to the official explanation, when the economy will go up, then the number of users will go up. So now they claim the economy has gone up, but users fell down. Why? The other theory is many people died in COVID-19. But in a totalitarian state like China, you know nothing about the truth. They really try to fight COVID, but I can tell you the way they fight COVID-19 is really inhumane. If they discover a house, someone is infected, they lock down the whole house. They even welded all the doors so that nobody can come out. And it does happen that sometimes other people get infected and died. Well, that is their way of successful fighting COVID-19. Do we want to have that? Do we want to have, like this guy from World Economic Forum say, a better global governance? Well, I think he seems like paving the way for the new global governor, and that is Chinese Communist Party. I hope it will not be true. Otherwise, we all are in big, big trouble. Thank you for today, and don't forget to click like and subscribe and support us through Patreon or PayPal. Thank you. Bye-bye.